What is happening, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Comic Book Weekly, and it's going to be a fun one tonight. It's kind of funny how we did talk about KO last week, and we were like, "Oh, look who the the players are," and then soon, eventually, we'll get the matchups. Who would have thought that 5 days later we would get the matchups so quickly with the brackets and everything else? So we're going to have a great time for you today. Of course, I'm Mike Spider Slayer. We got Brant over here.
What's up, everybody?
From Only Good Comics. And then, of course, we have Cat Comic Uno.
Hello.
So, yeah, it's going to be a fun show. But before we do dive into, into the bracket thing, we want to give you time for you guys to all filter on in here so you'll be part of the show. So we're going to go over all of the news pieces that we have, which is maybe like a total of 3 news pieces. That's about it. And then we'll get into that KO talk like I talked about.
It's a ton of news. First up, we do have some media news that, of course, the Superman movie is getting a sequel. It's going to be called Man of Tomorrow. But I thought what was really cool, and I think most of the comic book community thought was cool, was that the way they announced it was having comic artists showcase Lex Luthor's classic suit against Superman. So I don't know who, let me see who drew it. So Jorge Jimenez, and it was Mitch Gerald who did some art there. So I thought that was really cool. That's the way to promote comics and to understand where your movie came from.
Yeah, for sure. I still haven't seen it yet. I was really hoping to get to see it before this week, but I know. But I think it's cool, especially with the suit. That's just,
It's like every week Grant goes by. He's like, I thought I was going to see it this week. Yeah. Next week, it'll be like Christmas. Still haven't seen it, guys.
I was going to say, is it playing anywhere still? Or would you have to, buy it, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
I think it's on digital right now. I think you can get it.
Yeah, I think so. I was hoping to make it to the theater. It just didn't work out.
Do you know what I saw today?
What did you say?
I finally watched Venom.
I still haven't seen it. I was in Vermont this weekend, and me and my business partner, we were like, had an evening to ourselves. We were like, let's watch a movie because Netflix was in the hotel room. So we're like, okay, what should we watch? And then Venom and Venom and Craven were both on the television. We're like, maybe we finally watch it. We just watched Edge of Tomorrow because we never seen that movie. So we did not pick Venom, and we did not pick Craven. But Mike, did you like Venom?
I decided on the 2. I was like, oh man, I'm like, should I watch Craven or should I watch Venom? I'm like, I've seen the other 2 Venom movies. I should probably just finish it off and see this one, right? And so I get into it. I'm watching it. And I'm like, man, this movie sucks. I mean, like,
that's so sad.
It's bad.
It also looks very long.
It's not. It's an hour and 49 minutes.
Okay.
It's not that long, but it feels long. And there's a lot of time, a lot of dead time in it too. It's not good. Like seeing Null for like about the 2 minutes that he's in the movie is kind of cool. But I mean, besides that, the movie's the worst Venom movie that they made so far. Like not good at all. I'd rather watch the Carnage one than that one any day of the week.
So next, are you gonna watch Craven? Are you skipping that? Or
did you see I might put myself through that torture. And it was kind of funny because I didn't go to work today because it's raining. It's been raining all day today. So like I was organizing a bunch of comic books and watching Netflix. So I watched Hard Eyes because I never saw that.
I hated that movie. Did you like it?
You? I actually liked it.
I've not seen that. That's a horror movie, right?
Yeah, it's a horror, like
kinda.
It's kinda. It's not. It's a slasher, but it's a It tries to add comedic elements to it, and I liked it. I thought it was. It tried. It's not like Thanksgiving. If you've ever seen Thanksgiving, it's not quite that nature. So they try to mix it in between. It was all right. I liked it. It was better than I thought it was going to be.
I didn't like the reveal at the end. I didn't like who the slasher was. No, I thought it was very obvious. So like when the movie is so much about the identity of the slasher, I want the slasher to be really good. So, but yeah, I don't know. I think I was just expecting a lot, so that's why I was like, I was very.
Well, I was not expecting anything from that movie at all.
I was expecting like something fun, and I feel like I didn't get that. And I was like, oh, is it a romance movie? Is it not? And I just felt like I didn't really know what it was. And then I was like, all right, at least let's wait to see who the reveal the villain is. And Thanksgiving was excellent. I also didn't like Thanksgiving, so I might not love the tone of those slashers. But I thought
Thanksgiving was just more of a shock value movie than anything.
And the kill scenes, and there's
that's what it
only
is.
one good kill
it was
scene.
not a good movie at all. Like I knew who the killer was from way early on in the movie. I knew for sure.
Oh yeah, for that one as well. So, but I'm glad you got to see that. Still haven't seen Craven. Still have not seen Venom. It's always staring at me in airplanes too. Every flight I go on, they always have Craven and Venom. Like, is this the time? And then I just watch a better movie because I'm just like, I don't want to watch.
That seems like the perfect time to watch a movie. Like
I know,
right?
I know. I'm trying to think of what I saw. I saw Opus with Io. I forget her last name. The one for the bear, and that was bad.
Yeah.
And then I saw another movie. Oh, I saw another horror movie. Just recently. Oh, Drop I saw, and that was just okay. So I wasted my airplane time on that. So maybe I should have watched Craven and Venom.
I don't think Craven's very good though. I think it's probably worse than Venom. Just there's a dancing scene in Venom, and it's like Venom is not made to dance, even if he's an anti-hero. Like he's dancing with the woman from the grocery store that was friends with Eddie, like in Vegas. It's like, come on, dude. Like that's the best we can do with this. Like,
right. Yeah.
That's
like Spider-Man 3 level, right?
Oh, God. Spider-Man 3 way better than Venom.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty bad.
I did not. Venom is bad. It's very bad.
Wow.
With Spider-Man 3, they tried to fit too much into the movie. And with Venom, there just wasn't enough. They couldn't even fill a plot. That's how bad it was.
Gotcha. It sounds like it probably didn't need to exist. And I think Sony kind of knows that. We do have two other comments. Infamous Mike Manhattan said they just recently saw Warfare and Death of a Unicorn. I saw Death of a Unicorn. I really hated that movie more than all the movies I talked about. The ending is very strange. And then this is a WNBA question, but Gotham Elementary says Clark or Sabrina. For me, I'll say Sabrina is a bit more consistent, even though she has had a few injuries. Clark has been out a lot, but Caitlin also put the WNBA on the map. So I love them both. If you had to make me pick, I'm going to say Sabrina.
So confused. I was like, who
is this? Who is this DC and Marvel characters?
No,
these new KO DC characters.
Yeah, right? They're sports characters.
They are. They're the new DC KO. Infamous Mike Manhattan also asks if we read The Knives by Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips. I was actually thinking about that book recently because I'm going to pick up the Brian Michael Bendis book tomorrow, the Spectator, because graphic novel. It's like based on their Substack. And I was like, I so rarely get to pick graphic novels up because I usually just like to pick up the floppies. So I think that's what the shame of the Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips books. I feel like I miss them a lot because I tend not to pick up the graphic novels as often. But I feel like are you guys the same? Do you feel like you pick up as much OGNs? I feel like you guys are in a similar spot.
Yeah, I'll get them like for mostly I get those kind of things for holidays and stuff like that. But I have so many that I haven't read because
me too. I have a lot that I haven't read. Like when it comes to like trades and graphic novels and stuff, like I'll buy them because it's like nice to have them. You know what I'm saying? And at your disposal, but it's very rare do I get to read extra stuff because of all the current stuff that you have.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah, that's
that
too.
I actually read the Brian Michael Bendis book today because I had a digital copy of it because I knew I wouldn't have time tomorrow to read it because there's so many books coming out and because you already have so many books to read. But because it was Brian K. Vaughan, I wanted to pick it up. So I was like, all right, let me read it beforehand. So I had some time to review it. We have one more sports question and then we'll go into the
good. I just didn't know who they were.
Ethan Pess asks, Mike, how do you feel about the Dolphins getting picked apart
My God, that was the worst opening week of football that I have ever watched from the Dolphins that I can remember currently. I was totally beside myself. I've never seen them play so bad in the longest time. I just was laughing. It was that bad. I don't know, man. If they lose this week, I have a feeling that they might fire their head coach if they lose that bad as they did. I mean, they're the only team that did not stop the opposing team from scoring at all through the entire football game.
Wow.
Like, you might as well have been a high school team playing a professional team. That's how bad it was.
That's
my
crazy.
gosh.
That's like back when I was really into sports. University of Kentucky football was really bad. That's what that sounds like. It's like
really?
you go just to support them, but they sucked so bad at the time.
Starts from the top, man. It starts with the coach, and that's just
Yeah.
the issue there, you know?
That'll be interesting to see if they replace the coach. Not even mid-season, start of a season.
I say if they lose as bad as they did this week, I wouldn't be surprised if they sat there and said, "All right, you're done. You're fired." Like, because you can't show up to an NFL season that flat, you know?
That's pretty bad.
That's pretty bad. I don't know as much about football, and I could say that's pretty bad if you're letting other teams score that much. That's crazy.
Yeah.
All right. Well, now we're going to dive into some comic news. So DC is returning to New York Comic Con, which has been years, I think, since COVID. They haven't been at New York Comic Con. So they're actually making a big push because they are having Vertigo return. Just like I feel like 3 years, Vertigo returns and then has one comic, and then they are like, all right, Vertigo's gone. Because honestly, and again, I don't know all the rules or the back end deals of Vertigo, but like, what's the benefit, right? DC owns your books at that point. Like if you go to another company, you probably own a little bit more of your part. Again, maybe Vertigo has a different deal and you own a little bit more of a piece than I think you do, but I'm guessing DC owns a big chunk of the book you have. So that's why I'm like, oh, does Vertigo, like, is it old news in that regard? But obviously the comics themselves that have been brought from Vertigo is a big deal. And obviously they've had a big history in comics, but yeah, I never really knew how the ownership is dealt there. Because like, look at American Vampire. That was a book I love from Scott Snyder. And is he really able to touch that unless he wants to go through DC Comics? And like, what's his ownership like there? I'm very curious with that, with such a big name like DC attached.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I don't have too much to say when it comes to DC that's returning to New York Comic Con, but it's good. I think when you have these Comic Cons, right, I think that it's very important that the major publishers make their appearances there, you know, because that's what people want to see. That's why it's called Comic Con, right? So, and being that DC, I feel like is having a more successful year or year and a half, I would say. I think it's smart to bring them back, and hopefully they'll have their other announcements, and whether it's Vertigo or whatever it is, I just think it's a good thing.
Well, tying into our topic, it looks like they're making a DCKO announcement there too, or having a panel about that. So I think it's a good thing because it's like for so long we got used to having certain like big news weekends or big news drops, spread out at the bigger cons and stuff like that. So it's cool to see that, and we'll get some hopefully really cool announcements out of it. So, but
yeah, I hope so too. I don't know if Marvel's made any announcements that they're going to be there, but at least DC is. That's cool. Moving on to our last topic, which is TMNT is now doing blind bags. Everyone and their mom is doing blind bags. But something that I thought was really interesting with the Batman blind bags, and I'm sure we'll talk more about that when we talk about the book, but they really limited it, honestly. Like my store didn't have the opportunity to get as much as I think they were expecting. It's really only if you FOC'd were you able to get a ton. And I was able to get, because the way I get my comics is that I email my comics once a week. So they know what series I'm getting for the most part. And I'll tell them if there's like a very limited series, but I usually go from a weekly basis. That's usually easier for me. So I I was able to get 2 blind bags, and which is great. Like I'm glad I got 2, but couldn't get 5, can't get 10. And Battle Beast was very different. I was able to get as many as I wanted. They had stacks of Battle Beast. So I thought it was very interesting that DC was super limited.
It's the price point. That's just what it was. Like, I even had the same conversation with my shop. They were saying that, you know, when you have a $5 price point and then you have a $10 price point, well, it makes a difference. So you got to rely on the FOC to get most of your orders. And then you order a few more. I think my shop ordered maybe 15 additional blind bags besides the FOC. So I wound up grabbing one more extra off the shelf. And then I wound up getting 5 of the ones for FOC. And I wound up getting, I saw your opening and I laughed that you got 2 of the same one.
Yeah.
And it's 2 of the standard ones.
And it's
that's
standard. But I bought 6 and I got
3 of the same one.
3 right? Duplicates. Yeah. So I got 2 of the Jim Lees. No, 3 of the Jim Lees.
3. Yeah.
And then 2 of the other ones, I think it was.
Yeah, you got 2 of one, 3 of one, and then 1 other.
Yeah.
I watched I skipped to both of y'all's to see what y'all got. So.
Oh, I got the Mark Silvestri one. That's the only other one I got.
Right.
So I don't think they mixed them up that good, or maybe made as many as they said they were going to make. And so, you know, it is what it is. But when it comes to this Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle one, I might buy one. Honestly,
it's not even issue 1. It's like it's just the new creative team.
Just to get you to buy it. But I just might buy one just to buy one. You know, I'm not going to buy more than that. I'm not that huge of a turtle fan to the point where I'm like, oh, wow. And then like I saw Daniel Warren Johnson was doing a cover. It doesn't look that great. I'm not going to lie. It's like, I was like, oh, maybe I'll get the one Daniel Warren Johnson one. And I look at it. I'm like, it has them skateboarding. Like, I don't want to see them skateboarding. I don't care about that one. So, yeah.
I ended up FOCing when I went to the store because I was like, all right, I didn't get all the ones for Batman. I got 5 for Mark Spears because I want to support indie creators. So that's a very easy one for me. And I haven't read the Mark Spears book, so I felt like that could be a really good jumping on point. I got 5 for KO. I got 5 for Ultimate Invasion. And I want to say I got 5 for another one. But those are the 3 I can remember that I got. So I want to get 5 blind bags. That's usually what I like. And same thing I wanted to do for Batman. So I don't know. I also did love the bag. I thought the bag looked kind of grummy. It like, especially because of the black. There was a lot of peels. Yeah, a lot of it peeled off. It just kind of lost the excitement. Like you said, because of the $10 too. I like that it was foil. That is something obviously it's $10 because it's foil. You rather just have the surprise variant.
Foil. To me, I think the foil is more of the gimmick than the actual blind bag. Like, I'd rather have just a regular variant cover, or just make a chase cover, just like you did with the Battle Beast ones. They're all regular covers, 125, 150, 100, and one was like chromium. Yeah. Like, I read that, to me, was even better in the foil because the foil covers, a lot of them they look darker. Unless they're in a light, you don't see or appreciate the artwork the way that you should. I'd rather spend $5 than $10 and maybe buy more of them than only buy 5 of them.
But with DC, I feel like they would have variant covers that you could just buy off the shelf. I think something that Battle Beast did very well. Yeah, and they did, and they just made them foil. But Battle Beast did very well was the ratios. I think that's what's fun about the blind bags. So we'll see. I'm scared that they're going to go out of style this quickly because they are fun. You just can't have it every week. Like, you have to have it maybe like once every 2 months, and there's a cool book that comes out. Once every 3 months is fine. But if you have once a week and you have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles issue 8, I just feel like it's taking the fun out of it.
Yeah, I think that Mark Spears one is probably going to be the best one besides the Battle Beast, because from what I heard, there's like 70 different covers,
and he made all of them, right? Like,
he does all of them, and it's like a trick or treat thing. You know what I'm saying? So it's like kind of gets you in the mood of Halloween, and it's a mystery. I don't know. I just think it just fits better.
I see. For me, it's like other like things like toys and cards and stuff like that do, you blind bag, blind box, whatever it is, mystery box, etc. You typically know like it's all like the same value, right? And you go in, you could get something very special for a low cost. That's kind of the appeal of it, right?
Right.
It's not like you're paying extra for it's okay. It depends on what you're getting. Like a mystery box on Kickstarter is a different deal because you're getting like a whole collection of things. But like a typical like collector's cards from the store, like those toys, like those LOL things and things like that. So you kind of pay that base price and you might get something really cool or you might get something you have 10 copies of. You just don't know. And that's the fun of it. That's the mystery of it. But it's not an extra like, oh, I gotta pay, $20 to get this special edition version of this. Just go
Yeah.
pay $20 to get the special edition version. You don't have to have a blind bag to do that. That was a long, winded explanation.
No, I mean that's you're right though. That is the fun of it. It's just what am I going to get? Am I going to get lucky? I would never spend hundreds of dollars to get that chase, that foil, that
Right.
gold foil,
Yeah.
It's like, oh, okay, 5 of them gives you an opportunity to get a nice
Yeah.
selection. Unfortunately, it's like shit, there's like 20 covers and I wound up getting 6 of the same freaking cover. So it's like,
Right.
go figure,
Again, it's
And
like
it
with
seems like a
trading
lot of people
cards.
have that. Mhm.
Yeah, it's like with trading cards, you get like 5 cards in the pack, right? But one of them might be a special card, but you don't pay extra for it. Yeah.
Right.
We do have a comment about the foil cover. Lewis asks, do they fold? Do they like fold up? Over time they do. Do they curl?
Yeah.
If you don't put in a bagged board, they honestly do. I've seen it
Yeah.
before. So definitely put in a bagged board or else it won't curl if you do that.
Yeah, it won't curl if you put it in the back board.
No. My last thing here before we get into our brackets is actually some news on Lifeline Comics side. So if you guys have been watching the Comic Shop television show, it's a TV show that was funded on Kickstarter. It's about a Black-owned comic book store and what happens on a daily basis. The first episode is Free Comic Book Day and what happens on Free Comic Book Day and trying to make this store popular. So it's comedy, kind of Abbott Elementary style. And we are teaming up with the Comic Shop to do a comic book tie-in with some crazy names attached. We have Cody Ziegler doing a story, Stephanie Williams, Joe Illidge is on this book. So we're really, really excited about it. So hopefully you guys could go check it out. If you've been watching the show, you're going to love this. We have Zeno, who voiced Norman Osborn from the Spider-Man anime show, the recent one. He did a story by. We have Cheyenne, who did a lot of story bys, who created the show. So we're really, really excited about it. Go check it out. We are premiering that September 22nd. So if you've been into the show and if you haven't watched the show, I recommend it if you're a comic fan. It's like 8-minute, 15-minute episodes, and they're all about being a comic fan and like running your own store, which is very cool. So go check it out.
That's really awesome. Congrats on
Yeah, that's cool.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a really, really exciting project that we've been keeping hush hush for a while, but it's also been one we've been quickly doing because we wanted to release this while the show has been airing.
Yeah.
So it's something we've been working on for like 2 months, but it's also like, I'll say we've never made a comic book anthology as quickly as we have to get it to go on. But the Cody Ziegler thing is really exciting. That's something I'm personally super excited for, to get to work with him and like have him on in a comic, because we talk about him a lot on the show. So
Yeah.
go check it out. Follow the page. It really helps.
Him and Stephanie love their work. So.
And Stephanie Williams too. Yeah, there's and Joe. Like, I mean, there's so many great people on
So
here.
many.
So we're super excited about it. And that's just like a handful of people that are part of it. So yeah, go check that one out. And now we're gonna get into the KO brackets. I'll say that I got my friend into them because I was stuck at an event and we were like waiting for the event to start. And I was like, oh, we're doing this KO bracket for the podcast. And he's like, oh, what's this about? And I was explaining like seeds and what like these brackets would be, which is so interesting because Brant saw a Scott Snyder tweet where it pretty much confirms that seeds are not going to matter. Like, I don't think there's a seed 8 and a seed 1, which I don't know how to feel about that. I think it makes sense in a comic aspect, but I'm like, oh, I kind of like the idea of like seed 1s and seed 8s and like upsets and things like that.
Well, the
Yeah,
funny thing is like it looks like that there's going to be like brand like we read on the tweet that there's going to be special items that they go after to give them like an edge. And if you actually read the DCKO preview, and I pointed this out to Brant earlier today, is Superman had something on his knuckles and it looked like he was going to go into a fight with these
yeah.
things. So he has something, probably some of these other heroes have something to give them an edge. And maybe it may sound like it's not as predictable as maybe it could be. But
Which is good.
it doesn't, it almost sits there and you got to think like, well, I can't, it's just like, how can Superman lose? Right. It's kind of funny, but yeah, like Kat said, we're going to go over this bracket right now. So, let's dive into it. Okay. We'll start on that left side. And we'll go on and we'll start off with Superman versus Giganta here. Okay. So Kat, who do you have winning that round?
I'll say I did pick Superman for that because I don't. Also, do I want to follow Giganta more? Not really. I had to pick Superman for that one.
What about you, Bryant?
I also went with Superman. I don't know. It's Superman, right?
Yeah.
He's not going to lose against Giganta. If you're putting them 1-on-1 against each other, that's
right. I mean, me personally, she could be small, she could be big. The bigger they are, the harder they fall. Like that's the saying. I also pick Superman. I don't think Superman's going to be a one and done in this tournament, right? So we all agree Superman's moving on to this second round here. So then if you go down the bracket through the first round, we got Captain Atom and Power Girl. Who do you pick, Kat, for this one?
I picked Power Girl because I feel like she might be a sleeper throughout the tournament because she is a super character, but she's also one that not everyone thinks of. But I could see Captain Atom winning. Like, honestly, Captain Atom probably will win, but I'm rooting for Power Girl.
I picked Captain Atom here because I just don't see two superpowered characters going against each other. And if we are doing special item things, like maybe, I don't know, not that Captain Atom needs it, but it's just like maybe somehow he gets the edge. So I'm going with him also. What do you think, Brett?
I also went with Captain Atom for a similar reason. Again, looking at it as a bracket, I didn't see Power Girl and Superman going head to head.
Right.
And looking ahead, Captain Atom versus Superman, I think could be an interesting battle. So that's kind of why I went with.
Right. I would sell like you would want to see that battle and not sells comics, I think. I don't know. But hey, maybe Power Girl and Superman do too. Watch, both will lose. Watch, it's gonna be Power Girl and Giganta face each other in the second round. Watch.
They could throw us. We don't know.
Yeah, it could completely throw us. All right. Then here's one that's going to be interesting. Guy Gardner, Firestorm facing each other in the first round. I said it last week. I'm picking Firestorm to win this round. What about you, Brant?
I also went with Firestorm mainly because I want him to win.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, because we talked about it last week. We haven't seen him in a while. So and plus he's got really cool powers that are incredibly underestimated. So yeah, Firestorm is my pick.
I also picked Firestorm for all the same reasons. I think he's a sleeper hit. I think he's really powerful. I think he's going to go pretty far.
All right, cool. So we all agree on that one. Here's an interesting one. We got Aquaman and King Shark. When these two were introduced,
I think we missed Jay Garrick.
Oh, do I miss? Jay Garrick and Cheetah. So I think Jay Garrick is going to win this one personally. I think he's going to run circles around her. I have a feeling though, Kat's going the other way on this one.
I did because not for the reasons you think. I just don't think there's a lot of villains here. So I feel like they need some villains to go ahead. So that's why I picked Cheetah.
Gotcha. So, what about you?
I went back and forth on this. And at first I had Jay. And then I thought about it. And I'm like, for a similar reason with Kat about the villain point, but also because she's getting a push. She's got that series with Cheshire right now. And
True.
because she's crafty, and then you mix in the fact that not all these might be one-on-one matches, and I'm like, I think Cheetah could pull this off. So I won't.
I agree with that. That's something I really want people to think of while they do this chart. Think about where they're at, either in movies, which is, we'll talk about that after, but also with their series. Like, that's a good point with Cheetah. Like, they're going to be pushing characters that already have stories leading up to this. And at least with Scott Snyder and Joshua Williamson in particular, if this is a Marvel event, it wouldn't matter. But with DC, I do think they are going to be using continuity. So I do think they're going to be pushing some characters that they've been kind of sowing the seeds for.
Yeah.
All right. And then we have Aquaman and King Shark. So when these guys were introduced, I didn't think it would be the battle of the aquatics here, right? So, I mean, it's almost too obvious that it is Aquaman, but I did pick Aquaman here for the win. What about you, Brant?
I actually went with King Shark.
Did you?
And I'll tell you why. Well, I'll tell you why in the next matchup. When you hear my pick for the next matchup, I'll tell you why I went with King Shark. But at first, I was like, Aquaman's going to, wipe the floor with King Shark. But then I thought about it a little bit more, and I'm like, okay, King Shark. We'll go there, and I'll follow up that in a minute.
I actually picked King Shark as well because I think the brutality of like biting off Aquaman's face, I think would be very interesting. Because I just think that'd be like visually a cool battle. So
Yeah.
I also went with King Shark.
Gotcha. Okay. So next we have Connor, Hawk, and Hawkman. So I went with Hawkman to pull off the win over on this one.
I did selfish reasons. I don't like Hawkman. I've never have, and I don't want to see more of him. So I picked Connor.
I also picked Connor, and that kind of leads to my King Shark thing. First of all, if I remember correctly, I think Green Arrow and Hawkman have had issues in the past, and I could see Connor Hawk besting Hawkman. Hawkman's hot-headed. He has a temper. I think it'll cost him. And then I just thought it would be an interesting matchup to see Connor Hawk versus King Shark. And they've also been pushing Connor Hawk lately. So I just thought that would be an interesting development to put those two unsuspecting characters up against each other. I don't think people would see that coming. So.
Gotcha. All right. I like these reasonings, guys. All right. And then we have Lex Luthor versus Black Lightning. I went with Lex Luthor here just because Lex Luthor it's all about Superman this year. It's all about the Superman movie. I went with Lex Luthor for the win on this one.
Yeah.
You picked Lex Luthor too?
I
Brant?
did too.
I did not.
You went with Black Lightning?
I'd rather Black Lightning win, but I don't think it will.
I'll be honest with you. If we're also just looking at the diversity of this cast, if Black Lightning doesn't move forward, it's going to be a very white event. Yeah. So I think Black Lightning will move forward. And also I think he's a cool character. I think that he's going to pull the win. But I see where you're coming from, Mike, that they've been pushing Superman. So I could see Lex Luthor winning, but I also could see them really wanting to push Black Lightning as a character.
I could see that too. And I actually hope it goes that way. I just, because of the whole Superman thing, I kind of figure it'll be Lex Luthor, but we'll see.
Yeah, we will see. All right. And then we got the Demon and Supergirl. I don't know too much about the other character. So I just went with Supergirl. And being same thing, I felt like she deserves a win in this first round. So I just think she's going to win on this one.
I picked Supergirl too, because I think she's going to advance a lot into this event. I feel like she's going to be, I don't want to say a sleeper hit because she is a super character. But again, I think DC wants to push Supergirl. She has a movie coming out. I definitely think there's reasons to push Supergirl more.
I also went with Supergirl. Just all the reasons above, and plus, I don't think the Demon stands a chance. That said, if Black Lightning were to advance, I could see the Demon advancing.
Interesting.
Gotcha. All right, cool. All right, so let's go to the other side and do the first round on the other side here first before we move on to the second round stuff. So on the top half, we have Wonder Woman versus Starro. I just think Wonder Woman somehow would win that. I don't know how you fight Starro by yourself, though, right? But she does have like the lasso and everything, and she's very like Wonder Woman. She's a god, man. So I just feel like she's gonna win. That's just the only reasoning behind it. It's Wonder Woman. I just don't see Starro going very far in something like this. I could be wrong, though.
I picked Starro because there needs to be some upsets. The Trinity cannot move forward, the whole Trinity. So I thought Starro would glop onto Wonder Woman's face and it'd be over.
I wanted to pick Starro, but I went with Wonder Woman too, just because it's Wonder Woman. But I do agree with you, Kat, and yeah, we'll talk about that when we get to the next round. But yeah, I went with Wonder Woman here.
All right. So then our next round we have is Lobo versus Plastic Man. I wound up going with Lobo here. I just think he's just a badass. I like Plastic Man. I thought about pulling for him to win, but I just think Lobo's too much of a badass, and I like want him to go farther in this thing. So what about you, Kat?
I do want to answer this question. Meyer says I'm trolling with my picks, but I'm not, because with these events, if you look at a March Madness, do all seed ones always win?
Right.
No, because that's boring. You need to have an underdog winning, because that's how these events work. Like, you can't just have Superman win and Batman win and all these powerful characters, because that's not going to be interesting. Now, do I think Starro is going to win? I don't know. But do I think Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman are going past those first rounds? No. You have to have an upset. So you have to have some weird picks in here, because that's how these work, or else it won't be interesting. But yes, between Lobo and Plastic Man, I think Plastic Man, because I want to see more of him. That might be trolling, but because I do think Lobo is a more powerful character. But for me personally, I think Plastic Man's an interesting character to play with, especially after that miniseries that we all really liked. I think he could be very interesting. And also, I think it'd be very interesting to use his powers against Lobo. Lobo's all brute, and he's more of an elastic character.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I went with Lobo, though. And I mean, Lobo versus Wonder Woman sounds like a fun time to me, so I want to see that fight, and that's kind of my selfish reason there. But I would love to see Plastic Man advance. I would love to see a lot of these unexpected characters move forward, because I think that would be more interesting storytelling. But you're also going to go for some big matchups, and Wonder Woman versus Lobo is a big matchup too. So
Right, exactly. All right, so let's go on here. So now we're going to move on to Swamp Thing versus Vixen. I said it last week. I didn't think that Vixen was going to be very far, and I just think that if it is a one-on-one matchup, I just think Swamp Thing's powerful. It's got control of the green. I just think he's actually going to win. So that's my personal opinion there.
Well, the interesting thing here is you're dealing with the green and the red, right? The red's animal, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
Whichever one the animal is. The
red is. Yeah. Because that's Animal Man.
Yeah. So Vixen taps into that as well. So plus, going back to your reasoning on Black Lightning, Cat, I kind of went with Vixen here. And plus, she's been she's a character that they've tried to push more in the spotlight over the past several years with the TV show and in the Justice League and different things like that. I think there's been more of a spotlight on her. So and I just think it would be cool to see her advance. So I went with Vixen.
I went with Swamp Thing. I feel like just because we're gonna be getting the more mystical side, I guess, with Swamp Thing. So, and there's not a ton of those type of characters here. So that's why I went with Swamp Thing.
He's definitely more powerful.
Right. All right, then we move on to everyone's favorite character. We got Cyborg, right? And then we have Batwoman. I I went with Batwoman. I think Cyborg might be more intelligent, might have more tech or whatever it is, but I think Batwoman can pull this victory out, pull something out of her, use her smarts. I mean, she has military training and everything. She can pull something out, right? I mean, she can beat Cyborg.
I agreed with Batwoman. I felt like she just has more of a fighting background with the military stuff. We'll see, but I went with Batwoman. I mean, they both are fan favorites, but I feel like there's not as much of, well, first of all, there's not a ton of queer characters here. So moving a queer character forward would be cool. But yeah, because I was also looking at how many there's so much more Superman characters than there are Batman characters here. That's very interesting. Maybe because they're more down on the bottom, but yeah, because we have Harley.
Yeah, they're towards the bottom. Remember, we talked about it. There was like 4 of them last.
Yeah,
a lot of them are versing each other though. So at least in this map, it doesn't mean that they will eventually move forward. But
I also went with Batwoman for all the reasons you all said. So
okay.
Plus to see Batwoman versus Vixen. In my
gotcha.
So.
All right, then the next one is Batman versus Starfire. I have a feeling Kat's going with Starfire. I'm going with Batman on this one.
You're getting the whole Trinity to move forward.
Listen, I'm not saying that they're going to win the entire thing, but sometimes when it comes to first round matchups, yes, you're right. There are upsets, but there are certain characters that I feel that in an event like this, I don't know if the big time characters are going to get eliminated right away.
Yeah.
So.
But with Star Sapphire, the whole DC universe has been building her with the Justice League book. And then B, she could use her power of love to get Batman out of there. Like psychologically, I think she could destroy Batman.
Yeah, I hope you're right. I would really like to see that. I went with Batman just because
he sells
Batman.
books.
Yeah. And I can't see him getting eliminated that early, but I would love to see more Star Sapphire. I love Carol.
All right. So let's see. And then we have Red Hood and Damian Wayne. So this is an interesting one. When I saw this matchup, I'm like, damn, we're going big time right away from these two.
Yeah.
I went with Red Hood on this one.
He does have a #1 issue tomorrow.
So. Yeah, he does have a new #1 issue. They might be pushing him, but I don't know, based off of also what's going on with Hush and everything right now too. Like he's a major player in that. And I just think I don't know, man, he could be pissed off and angry and just have some resentment against Damian and he pulls it out, man. I don't know, somehow, some way.
I picked Damian. But again, this one's a tough one. It was honestly almost a coin flip on for this.
It was for me too. I went back and forth with it.
But I also went with Red Hood.
You went with Red Hood too?
Forth. Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha.
It could go either way with those.
I agree with you 100%. All right. And then this was a tough one for me too.
Yeah.
Zatanna and Barda. But I did pull out the win for Zatanna here. She can maybe pull some magic out of her hat and pull out the victory here somehow. Even though she's facing a new god, but sometimes it's not always about brute strength, right? So I did pick her to win this one.
Meyer asks, are you guys going to show your brackets at the end? I wish there was a better way to do that. We wrote some. I don't know how that would look, honestly. I don't know how to do that.
I can share mine. I used
you yours digitally. How about you, Mike? I could put
mine
through the screen.
I used I used mine on my book. So that was mine.
So, here, let me stop screen sharing so you can show that up closer, Mike.
Oh, see, that's how I did mine. I filled it out like that.
Man, I just printed mine out from Bleeding Cool.
Yeah, I was gonna print one. I was gonna make another one out also, and then it, like I said, my printer ink ran out. So
I actually used a similar font and everything.
Damn,
Yeah.
Brant got some extra credit.
Yeah.
I think we were up to Zatanna and Barda.
Yeah, I said Zatanna.
I also am saying Zatanna. I think she's gonna go pretty far. She's so powerful. Yeah, and I also think obviously Barda is a strong character, but I think she's a little bit too much of a cult classic character. I just feel like Zatanna would be a better character to move forward.
I love Barda in the Birds of Prey book. I think she's
She's solid there.
fantastic. Yeah, but I like her with the team. If she's got the whole Birds of Prey behind her, she's taking that. But Zatanna is Zatanna, and I love Zatanna, so Zatanna gets the pass there for me.
That's something that's surprising here too. That Barbara is not in this. Black Canary is not in this. There's a lot of characters that they kind of excluded.
Yeah.
All right, and then the last matchup of the first round we got is Harley Quinn and Metamorpho, and I picked Harley because it's Harley Quinn. I mean, she's going to win a round. She's a popular character, and I feel like she's going to win that round, in my opinion.
I also picked Harley because I think she's too popular of a character, especially depending on who is eliminated. Let's say a Batman's eliminated, you need to have Harley involved.
I would say if Metamorpho wins, we're getting trolled. But
I'll agree to that too. He's just not that, at least for me, is not as likable of a character.
Right.
All right. So the first rounds are complete. So now we're going to go do our second rounds, but obviously our picks are different. So we'll go through. So in my second round here, in the top half, should I do my entire side real quick?
I think do matchup by matchup. I think so. You do your matchup and then we'll do ours.
Okay. So I had my first matchup was Superman versus Captain Atom, and I have the predictable choice. I thought about it for a little bit, but again, it's Superman event. That's what it was said. So I'm picking Superman here to win this round. So what do you got here, Brant?
I also have Superman versus Captain Atom, and I also went predictable and went Superman. And yeah, especially based on who my next one is, and I'll explain that when we get there. But yeah,
gotcha. What about you, Kat?
Mine is Superman and Power Girl, because I did think the super battle would be interesting. And I said Power Girl would move forward because I genuinely think you got to get the Trinity out by a certain point, because then I don't know. I just feel like it's kind of boring, but I also understand the selling comics points. So like, I don't know how long they could stay out, but I don't want them to be in the set. Like, I don't want them to be in the finals. I just don't think that's an interesting comic. We get to see Superman, Wonder Woman, and Batman fight Darkseid all the time. I want to see someone else do it.
Gotcha. All right. Well, now the next part of the bracket here in that top upper half is, for me, is Jay Garrick versus Firestorm. And like I said, I wanted Firestorm to go far, and I have Firestorm moving on to the next round. So that was my pick there. What about you, Brant?
I had Firestorm versus Cheetah, and Firestorm was an easy win there. And also, well, yeah, that sets up Superman. That I'll save that. Never mind. I forgot that's the next round. So
that's the next round. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mine is Firestorm and Cheetah. So I said Firestorm was also going to move forward. I just think he's going to be a dark horse for this.
Yeah.
All right. Moving down now to the bottom half, left side, I have Aquaman facing Hawkman, and I actually have Hawkman winning that round going forward. I think he'll pull off a win, and he gets to the third round. Where does he go from there? We'll find out soon. Brant, what do you got?
I've got King Shark versus Connor Hawk. A very unlikely matchup, but
I have that too. So
nice. And I've got Connor Hawk pulling forward in that one.
I had King Shark pulling forward because I don't.
I knew she was going to pick King Shark. Yeah.
Because what does Connor do to defeat King Shark? He only has his arrows. He's the King Shark, the big guy.
He's shark with legs.
Yeah, he has his mouth. He's gonna fight. Have you seen Jaws?
Connor Hawk's one of the greatest fighters in the world, though. You got to keep that in mind.
Not against King Shark.
Okay. And then in the bottom half here, on the last side, on the bottom on the left side, I have Lex Luthor versus Supergirl. And believe it or not, I do have Lex Luthor beating Supergirl here. So that was my pick. Brant?
I had the same matchup, Lex Luthor and Supergirl, and I also picked Lex Luthor beating Supergirl.
Gotcha. And Kat?
I had Black Lightning versus Supergirl, and I said Supergirl was going to win because again, I really think DC wants to promote Supergirl, so I think she.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
All right, so now we go to the top right side here, and I had Wonder Woman versus Lobo, and I have your main man winning. I have Lobo prevailing over Wonder Woman here. So what about you, Brant?
I actually have the same exact thing.
Do you?
Wonder Woman,
Okay.
Lobo winning over her. Yeah.
Gotcha. What about you, Kat?
I have Starro versus Plastic Man. So between those, I think Starro's going to win.
All right. Next, I have Batwoman versus Swamp Thing. And
we finally have the same battle.
Yeah, and then I have actually Swamp Thing winning over Batwoman here. And what about you, Brant?
I actually have Vixen versus Batwoman, and I went with the underdog and went Vixen.
Wow. Yeah. Kat?
I have Batwoman versus Swamp Thing, and I said Batwoman. So it's interesting that all three of us have different characters there.
Yeah, that's funny.
But depending on if we have back characters moving forward, but if you don't, Batwoman would be one of the only back characters moving forward here. So that's why I was like, all right, I think she should probably move forward.
Cool. All right. Next round here, I got Batman versus Red Hood, and I have Batman prevailing. It's maybe a predictable choice, but he is the more experienced character if they go on a 1-on-1 fight, and I think he wins and goes on to the next round. What about you, Brant?
I also have Batman versus Red Hood, and I also have Batman advancing.
Gotcha. Kat?
I have Star Sapphire versus Damian, and I think Star Sapphire is gonna prevail because I really do think they want to promote her as a character. I want to see her go far, so I think Star Sapphire.
Man, she's either gonna like crush this bracket or her bracket will be busted. Like
I will say, I think
time.
it's either way. I don't think she's going to be in the middle. I think she's either going to be the long running character or she's going to lose in the first round.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, and then we have for my second round here, last pick, Zatanna, Harley Quinn. Here's my sleeper. Harley Quinn's pulling it out of Zatanna. Again, she is a Bat character. She's popular. And if there's someone that's going to weasel her way out of something, it's going to be her. So, and I feel like we need to put Harley Quinn back on the map to where people are going to like her again. So I just feel like that maybe she could do something in this tournament here. So what about you, Brant?
I also have Zatanna and Harley Quinn, but I went with Zatanna instead here.
Gotcha.
Kat? I had the same thing, and I also went Zatanna because I feel like she's a more interesting character to see battle because she has all the spells. I think it'll be more interesting to look at.
I
agree with you with Harley, though. I think she needs more love, and I think an event like this would be great to do that.
Right.
If this was all people I wanted to advance, this would be a completely different looking bracket here.
No, I don't disagree. I think honestly, if I wasn't trying to play strategically, I think Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman would go towards the end, because that makes sense to me. Those are the most powerful people. But I don't think that's interesting.
I agree.
All right, so now we go into the semifinals in these brackets here. So in my round here, I have Superman versus Firestorm, and I do have Superman winning this battle. So I really wanted Firestorm, but I'm like, again, I keep going back. My gut tells me Superman. That's what my gut is telling me here. So what do you got, Brant?
I do want to answer this question, the Harley question. Why does Harley need more love? I think media-wise, she's fine, but in the comics, she's not doing anything. Like, she used to have a series of her own. She doesn't have that anymore. We honestly, I don't think we've really seen her as
she does have a
Gotham City Sirens.
Does she right now?
She does have a series, but it's just
she has an ongoing.
Yeah, it's just a jokey series, though. It's just And I just feel like they need to kind of start getting back on track to where we got to take her as more of a serious threat again. You know what I'm saying?
Like the Injustice Gods Among Us. I think they did a really good job at making her feel like a real character.
She's balanced.
Yeah, she is a bit jokey. I know in Poison Ivy, supposedly she was really written well. So maybe in the tone of that, but being more in a main event or a Batman series. She's in Birds of Prey too. Sometimes
only in an arc,
she's not she's not a main character.
It's a revolving cast, and they sometimes bring people in. She was one of them. I don't remember where we're at.
I think we're on. You're for yours. It's Firestorm and I think Superman. You have
Firestorm and Superman. I going back to the last round. I didn't think they would do Captain Atom versus Firestorm, so that's kind of one of the reasons why Superman advanced for me. But I did pick Superman, the predictable answer, over Firestorm here as well.
I picked Firestorm against Power Girl because I think he's a very powerful character. He's a nuclear character. He could create, shift atoms. Like I just feel like he is an underdog in that regard. So I picked Firestorm.
All right. And then on this bottom side here, I have Hawkman versus Lex Luthor. And I do have Lex Luthor winning. So that is that. What do you got, Kat?
Someone asked who is Firestorm right now, Ronnie, and who else? Honestly, I
don't even know.
Oh,
yeah, I don't know.
He hasn't been in such a long time. I have no clue.
I don't remember. Yeah.
Mine is Shark and King Shark and Supergirl, and I had Supergirl move forward. Because I don't think King Shark is going to be lasting that long.
What about you, Brett?
I have Connor Hawk versus Lex Luthor, and of course I picked Lex Luthor here.
Okay. Gotcha. All right, so now we'll go to the other side here, other side of the semifinals. I had Lobo and Swamp Thing facing off against each other, and I actually picked Lobo to win that round. I think he's going to pull it off somehow, some way. I kind of want to see Lobo go kind of far, and I think he's another character that I think that is probably going to get some love here soon in the movies as well too. So I think they might want to start promoting him. So I picked Lobo here. What about you, Brent?
I have Lobo versus Vixen, and I also went with Lobo here.
Okay,
because he's the main man, right?
That's right. Kat?
I have Starro versus Batwoman. So I think Starro's got to be left behind, and Batwoman's going to.
That is a crazy matchup. If that's how it goes.
And somehow Batwoman defeats Starro. I don't know how that's happening, but especially because Wonder Woman was defeated by Starro and didn't win. And then Plastic Man and Starro went up against it, but somehow Batwoman wins. Let's see. I just didn't want Starro to move more forward.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Meyer says, throw the bracket away, Uno.
No, man. No, you'll see my final and you'll be like, Kat, that's crazy. You're going to see it. This is all going to happen. Superman's going to die in the first issue.
And then, so now we go to the bottom half of the semifinal here. And we got, I have Batman versus Harley Quinn. So last round I had Batman and Red Hood. Now this time I got Batman and Harley. And I am pulling off the upset. Harley's beating Batman, baby. She's gonna outsmart his ass.
I like that.
And knock him in the head, and she is going to go into the final. Or into the final four, I should say. So that's what I'm picking. What do you got, Brant?
I have Batman versus Zatanna, and I also went with the upset and went with Zatanna here.
Oh,
so Zatanna's taking it, yeah.
I have Star Sapphire versus Zatanna, and my girl Star Sapphire. Again, she's not going to be in the middle. She's going to the end. No Zatanna. Nice. Star Sapphire. Someone did say it's a Superman story. So
but this is the right side of the draw. There's no super characters on that side.
He's literally in the center of the graphic that we're looking at right now.
All right.
I agree, Rob Phoenix. The Starro hate is real. And I don't know why a star with a big mouth deserves all this hate.
All right, so here we go. The final four. So I'm going to just go on the left side first. I have Superman versus Lex Luthor, the predictable battle, of course. But you know who I picked to win? Fucking Lex Luthor. I'm
Wow.
picking him to beat Superman this time around.
Okay.
And so, yeah, that's it right there. What do you got, Brant?
I also have Superman versus Lex Luthor, and I went the complete opposite way. And went
You
with
went Superman.
Yeah, of course. Predictable. It's just what I think's going to happen.
Right. Cat.
I have Firestorm versus Supergirl, and I picked Supergirl. So she has a movie coming out, guys, next
Yeah.
year.
Either way, between all three of us, it's a super character in the final.
And
Yeah,
they said
it
it's
is.
a super book.
Yeah.
So
Right. All right. Then now we go on to the other half. And I had,
Where it gets weird.
yeah, this is where it gets weird for everybody. Lobo versus Harley Quinn. I did not pick Harley Quinn to win it this time. I did pick Lobo to win.
But wouldn't
over
that be
Harley.
interesting? Lex Luthor versus Harley Quinn?
That
That's
would be,
cool.
but it's
They're
not going to
two
happen.
villains.
I just,
Cool.
yeah. But I do pick Lobo here to go on to the final here. What about you, Brant?
I have Lobo versus Satana, and I have Lobo advancing.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
That's cool.
That's a shock.
Yeah.
I got Batwoman versus Star Sapphire. Get ready, guys, because my girl
Okay.
Star Sapphire is going all.
He's
the
going
way.
all the way.
Yeah, you know how many breakups Batwoman has had? Star Sapphire is gonna be like, I'm gonna beat your ass with love.
Oh, so here it goes. It brings us to the finals. Who are we picking to ruin this whole darn thing, right? So here we go. I have Lex Luthor versus Lobo. The main
It's Lobo,
man,
guys.
the main man is not going to win this thing in my eyes. It's going to be Lex Luthor. He's going to be the new King Omega. He's going to be the one facing off against Darkseid because he wants all the power, just like usual. So, yeah, that's who I'm picking. Lex Luthor, baby.
Okay.
What about you, Brant?
I have Superman versus Lobo. Classic matchup there. And again, I went predictable. I've got Superman taking it all.
You got Superman. At the end, after all that wiggling and finagling, it's still Superman at the end of the day. Fire.
No, I picked Supergirl,
Okay.
because it's a super character. I'll say Star Sapphire, she needs to be put down because the next DCKO she's going to win. So she's like, I was the runner-up. So I need to train. I need to work harder. But no, I think Supergirl might win it. But I do think it could be Lex Luthor. I am sorry, Brent. I don't think it's gonna be Superman. But I do
hope
think
it's
Lex.
not. Yeah.
I think Lex could win. I do think it could be Supergirl. I could see those are the two I can really see if it's gonna be a Superman story. I like Harley moving up. I think that's cool. I hope my girl Star Sapphire has a good run, but I do think Supergirl is gonna win.
Starro, guys. It is Starro, though.
It is.
Starro's gonna move forward. Just you wait.
It is funny that we all pick super characters to win the whole thing, though.
Just because it's been the super year, honestly.
Yeah.
It's just been such a Superman-filled year.
Right.
And if we're going off of like where the comics have been at, I also feel like Supergirl's been kind of on the sidelines. Also, we're going to talk about Amazing Spider-Man this week. So a villain moving into this kind of like hero position is interesting. Also, if you've been reading Superman, which Joshua Williamson has been writing, Lex Luthor has been an anti-hero this whole entire time. So that does make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's funny, in my pick, I don't have either characters or heroes at the end of the day that are winning this thing. They're both villains, and kind of like, if you kind of want this power, it makes sense that almost a villain wins it, right? You have Superman wanting to win it to prevent it, maybe to going into evil hands or whatever the case may be. But again, just with same thing. Everything that Lex Luthor has been through this year with losing his memory and trying to figure out his identity and everything else. So that's why, for me, I picked him, because this is going to give him a new status quo. So,
yeah, I could definitely see Lex Luthor or Supergirl winning this.
Absolutely.
I definitely see a Supergirl
winning this.
Yeah, I definitely see that side of the bracket kind of taking it over the other side, but definitely can be some interesting matchups here. This was fun, though.
No, this is so fun. I I love that DC's doing something like this.
Mhm.
It's like it's brought joy back to comics. I just think it's such a fun event. I think the people behind it, I think are going to put a lot of love to it. I'm just really excited for it. And I have not. When's the last time I've been excited for an event? Never. Hate events, so I'm very excited
Oops,
for
I
it.
clicked the wrong one. This is a good
Yeah,
point. I
let's
don't
hope
see
it
Lobo
turns-
going so far. He's powerful, but he also doesn't care that much. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
true.
could definitely see that point. Keep scrolling. I
Maybe-
keep clicking the wrong thing.
Maybe there'll be something that he needs to fight for.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe he does wants to be the main man. Maybe it's just the point of being bragging rights. You know what I'm saying? Because he is the man. All right. So you guys ready to go on to some comic book talk?
Yeah, there's so many comics this week. And next week there's a lot of comics too.
I didn't have as many. I think I had like 17 or 18, I think
I
it
had
was.
14, and that's that's
Yeah.
compared to your list usually. I know tomorrow I have like 18. or
Tomorrow I
19.
have a lot. I got like 25 tomorrow.
Mm.
So
I
all
had
right.
somewhere in between that, all that.
How many?
I
He said-
somewhere around there. I only read 12 of them, but I think I had like 15 or something like that.
Gotcha.
Well, there's a lot of big books to talk about for sure.
All right, so here we go. Let's talk about Everything Dead and Dying, issue 1. Brant did not read this one. I don't know why you didn't read this, because this was a damn good book.
Yeah.
And this was my sleeper pick of the week. I originally picked this thinking that this could be a hit because it was an apocalyptic book. I knew before you messaged me, Kat, like I kind of knew what this book was about. I knew how this guy was living on this farm. I knew how he was married to another individual, another guy, and he had a kid and all this other stuff. And but I just wanted to see, like, the biggest thing is like, how did this apocalypse happen, right? And so what drew your attention to this was the family that he had, how the book went out of its way to explain him and his family and his past, and then obviously what the zombie apocalypse is here. It's something that's completely different, right? These zombies are zombies, they're decaying, but they're still stuck in their last, like, I don't know, like their last what's it called?
Days, I guess.
Things that they did around the house, their patterns, their daily patterns. So, and this guy is the only person around that's immune to this disease. And he like takes care of the neighborhood. He makes sure his kid is okay, his husband's okay, his friend is okay. And then all of a sudden at the end, something bad happens and you're just like, oh shit, like what's going to happen now? So even though it feels very much like The Walking Dead, it is a completely different type of style of zombie apocalyptic book, because the zombies are not, they don't cause any
Hurting
harm,
people.
really. Yeah, they're like normal people.
Well, also we are coming from the point of view of a character that can't get harmed. So maybe
Right.
and that's something I really loved about this book, was that it's the reverse Walking Dead, because the people that come in the end are your average Walking Dead characters. Be like, oh my God, we're in an apocalypse. Of course, we're going to kill all these people. And into our main character, these are people that he loved, and he can't get affected by it. I thought it was a really brilliant book because we have so many apocalypse stories, and this felt different. And the art's really good. Meyer just said that it's gonna be 3 months until the next issue. That sucks because this is a really good
Oh
book.
yeah, that does.
I hope I hope that's not true, but I really liked it a lot. It felt very different to me. So Brant, I recommend it. I think you'll like it.
Yeah, I got it. It's just one of the books I didn't get to because it was longer.
Okay.
And I started to read it before the show, and it's like I don't have time. I didn't read this or Rockefellers, or there was one other, I think.
Gotcha.
I'm going to look up when issue 2 is coming out. So I'm going to look at League of Comic Geek. So the next issue, so Brant has some time to read it. October 8th. Yeah, no, it's not delayed. Unless you're talking about a different book. This comes out next month.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, so comes out next month. So we should be good.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's just over a month. Yeah.
All right, so let's move on to The Amazing Spider-Man, issue 11. So
Yeah.
I like this book. I thought it was fine. I like the reveal. I'm not really, you were right, Brant, about the reveal on one side with
Yeah, just the wrong side. Yeah.
Yeah. but I do like the reveal, and this is a spoiler, so I do like the reveal that Norman is actually Spider-Man.
Which I think, did you say that, Kat? Or somebody said that last
Someone
week?
said
I don't
that.
Maybe it was in the
remember.
comments.
Someone said
Yeah.
it though. Someone
Yeah,
said
someone
that.
said
I
it.
think it could be Norman. I don't know if it was in the chat or whatever
Yeah,
it
it might
was,
have been.
but
It's only at the end too. I think it's like 1 or 2 pages. I don't think there
yeah,
was
yeah.
much of
But
the Norman
still,
stuff.
it was the reveal where you were just
Yeah.
like, there's two people, right? And they're separate. And where's Peter? And then you find out Peter is in space and he was captured by this alien that does all these like scientific projects on like all these things that he finds, and he was using Peter as basically a pet. And then Peter like finds out the truth of what this guy is, and they start doing this battle, and he gets this suit and so forth, so on. And so like I liked it. I didn't care about those other like little backup stories, but I do find the story interesting, and I do like the writing better here. Again, I would have loved to seen maybe different artwork besides, obviously John Romita Jr. on that first story, because I think it could have been a lot better when you had those action scenes. The action scenes between like Norman and Ben were just kind of hilarious. They looked like they were wrestling each other or something.
Yeah, didn't love that.
Yeah.
And that's what's hard about this book. I think there's potential, right? Norman being Spider-Man is interesting. I've out of everything that anything is happened in the past 3 years of Spider-Man, Norman's been the best part. Like he's always been a very interesting character, and I liked him playing this good and bad. But the art was it's so hard to get into. I don't love cosmic stories. So seeing Peter in the cosmic world, I'm like, I don't really care. I hate this version of Ben Reilly. So the only thing I really liked was the last 2 pages, and it was hardly any of the issues. So for me, there's interesting ideas. I just don't love the storytelling. I hope that changes as we get to see Norman as Spider-Man. But there wasn't anything I particularly liked about the story here. It's because they focus so much on Ben and this cosmic side of Spider-Man. I think to be determined with Norman though. That might change my mind.
Yeah, for me, I'm kind of in between. It's like I don't like the art on the lead story, of course, but I even though I don't like this version of Ben, I like Ben, and I think the mystery of why he's taking Peter's spot is interesting to me, and why Norman's in the Spider-Man get up and all this stuff, and then takes me back to the conversation with Mary Jane. Okay, was that Ben talking to her then, and not Peter, and all this stuff? So
Right.
it's left a lot of questions, which I do like because I want to find out the answers to those questions. But I agree, I don't love Peter Parker in space, and I don't understand where they're going with that. Well, time will tell, but at least it's something different. It's something they haven't done before quite like this, and it could lead to some interesting storytelling. So
Yeah.
I think I'm
There's, I
just
mean,
tired
there-
always the could be. And
yeah,
but that's the part I'm just like, could be interesting. I'm like, I
yeah,
want the issue to
that's
be
a good point.
interesting and
Yeah.
to be good. And that's the
Right,
part
right.
I'm frustrated with, I think.
There is a lot of mystery though in it because we
Mhm.
don't know how he truly got to space. Like Hellgate battled him and all of a sudden he wakes up in space. Like
Yeah,
how did he even get there, right?
right.
And so and then the same thing is just like why is Ben taking over as Peter and why did Norman take over as Spider-Man, right?
Right.
So obviously they realize that Peter is missing and somehow these two came to an agreement somehow to do this job because obviously Norman can't pose as a Peter Parker, but Ben
Right.
Reilly can, right? But how did they agree to get Ben to do this? Because last we heard that he's the villain and he wanted nothing more than for Peter to be dead, right?
Yeah,
So it's
doesn't make a whole
interesting.
lot of sense. Yeah.
So we'll see. All right. Next, Batman issue 1. So here we go, guys. New release. Just because it has a fancy number 1 doesn't mean that everything changes with it. But I thought it was a pretty well written book, and I love the artwork in it. I love the all the gadgets that were introduced in it as well. I thought that was kind of cool. We tackled a few different issues. We get Tim Drake in here as well. He's being arrested. We got what's his name as still as commissioner, Vandal Savage, right? He's still in there. We got Commissioner Gordon, no longer obviously commissioner. He's just a cop. And then what's the other thing? Oh, and then you get, so I don't know. What do you guys think? We have Alfred in this book. Is he a figment of Bruce's imagination, or is he like a hologram AI? I thought he was like an AI to me. That's what I thought.
I think it depends on how you read the Killer Croc stuff, because that was a lot of it was say, oh, there's a lot in your head like that you have to deal with. So I think maybe leaning more towards that, but then it also was a very tech driven issue. So I guess to be determined.
Right.
But I really like this issue. It's interesting because I agree with you, Mike. I thought I was expecting a lot of the same stuff because Jorge Jimenez has been on the book for a long time. So it looks very similar. I thought the tone was very different. I felt like it was more emotional.
Yeah.
I especially like the Killer Croc stuff. I think it was really interesting that Batman underestimates him and says, oh, he's a bad guy. Just like forget about him. And then he has a conversation with him. He's like, oh, okay. Like, I guess I could like reason with him.
He's a little kid. He's gone backwards in his thought process. So he had to, bring him down to his intellect, and talk to him like he was a little kid.
And I really loved that scene. I thought that was really, really interesting. So, I really liked it. I thought it was the best I've seen Batman in a very long time for me.
I liked the Killer Croc stuff, and I thought the issue was good. I really liked the art. The narrative was pretty strong, but it didn't blow me away. It was like, it was a good book, but it wasn't like, oh my God, I got to tell everybody about this book. You know what I mean? And I also like reading about how the book's going to be structured, where it's basically every issue is a story and you're focusing on a different villain or whatever every issue.
Right.
That kind of, I don't love that. I don't know. Obviously, there's going to be an underlying arc. We've got Robin at the end of it and all that stuff. So at least there's going to be a through line to connect it all. But I do like, if it is in his head, which I thought it was in his head, I didn't think it was an AI. I like that he's kind of dealing with that, and it
shows that I think that he's lonely.
Yeah, and it adds another layer to Batman, where it's usually he's just kind of focused on the mission or whatever. Now he's actually, in a way, dealing with his emotions, in a very Batman type of way.
Which feels new too, because he's so much like,
Right.
it felt different to me, which is why I really liked it. Because again, every Batman starts kind of similar. He pushes people away. So to see him open himself up, I thought was a very different tone.
Yeah, which also brings you back to the Killer Croc thing and how he kind of related with him a little bit. And I thought that was kind of interesting. And if we see more of that and it progresses the character of Batman going forward, I think that could be really interesting. So yeah, really solid. I don't know what I was hoping for, but it didn't quite hit it for me, but it's close. I know it's going to be a good book. It's definitely going to be a good book going forward.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's Batman. Yeah, and you can only change so much of Batman, right? And so I looked at it as it was just a decent jumping on point for people.
Oh, yeah.
And I also looked at, I like kind of the simpler storytelling where it's like one and done, or maybe 3-issue story arc, or maybe a little bit of an overarching story, than what we've gotten in the past with Batman as of late.
That's
For
true.
instance, Tom
Especially
King,
the last arc.
right? Yeah. Chip Zdarsky, just we've had all these drawn out stories with Batman. Yeah. Let's get back to a little bit more simpler storytelling, to where maybe it's a little bit fresh and exciting every new arc, so that's the way I look at it.
I can agree with that. Yeah, for sure.
All right. So with that being said, let's move on to our number 5s. Brant, what was your number 5 this week?
I think I'll go with Absolute Superman, issue 11. It's between that and Cheetah and Cheshire, but that just fell outside. But I thought this was a cool issue in the way that we saw Superman kind of getting broken down by Brainiac, but fighting it at every turn. But by the end of it, we don't know if it worked or not. If he went violent or not. And I love that we got left on that cliffhanger. And then, of course, springboarding off the reveal of last issue, we have the stuff with Talia and Lois, and it starts to feel very familiar, to things from the main universe, and players are starting to get on the sides of the field that they're supposed to be on. I think that's kind of interesting, the progression there. And then the Brainiac character, I just wicked
Oh
interesting
my
and
God, dude.
just so brutal. And yeah.
Oh God. He's just like telling all his other Brainiac bros to sit
Yeah.
there and
Cut off
Wondermerit
parts
and
of
cut
them,
off your
yeah.
tongue and poke out your eyeball and
Psychotic.
just
Oh,
like, oh my
completely
gosh,
psychotic.
you know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
I agree. I love like the trial and tribulation that Clark is going through to kind of
Right.
fight that at the end. And then also you get Lois's dad like sacrificing himself
Yeah.
to protect them. I thought that was kind of cool as well. So I mean, I really like this book too. I thought it was awesome.
This one's losing me a little bit. I think I really want to see the characters interact more. Obviously, Superman's got kind of trapped in this issue, and I think this book is at its best when Superman's interacting with Jimmy or Lois. And I want to see more of that, but I know this is more of a mythos building issue, especially with Brainiac. It didn't do it for me, but I'm sticking around with it. It's getting a little lower for me. It's just it's losing me a little bit.
Gotcha. All right. What was your number 5, Kat?
Mine was All New Venom, issue 10. It's just I don't know where this book is going. I don't know if
was like
MJ's
number 6 for me. It just missed for me.
because it was a really interesting issue with MJ and Venom. They have a very interesting conversation about their relationship. I do think they pretty much tease that MJ's not going to be Venom for much longer.
Yeah,
because
I
obviously
think this is it. This is it for her.
because we're getting that legacy issue, which I honestly feel like it's a shame because I want to see a little bit more. I feel like they're just starting to scratch the surface, and she just broke up with Paul. I want to see like a couple more issues, but I thought this was a good ending to this arc and her relationship with Venom. It's a book that I'm pleasantly surprised by because it's such a soap opera, and I think it leans into it so well. And I had a really good time with this one.
Yeah, I actually really like this issue too. That whole conversation with Venom and kind of taking us back to all the stuff that she's been through with Venom as Eddie Brock and all that stuff. So I like diving into that because it kind of got, swept under the rug a bit so that they could coexist. And I was kind of afraid they weren't going to address it, but seeing them address it, that kind of, I don't know, it gave some kind of closure to the story for me. So I really enjoyed that part of it.
Yeah, and it comes to a realization that they can't be together. Like that's really what it comes down to.
Yeah.
And it's kind of funny because it's like Mary Jane breaking up with Paul, but then you got the breaking up of the relationship between the symbiote and Mary Jane. But I wish there was a little bit more between Mary Jane and Paul though too. He was just like, oh man, maybe I should get another apartment. Oof.
Yeah.
And it's just like, go away, Paul.
Yeah, that was funny.
Paul needs to go away.
Yeah, before you address that comment, about Paul, that was funny. Where he was like going to Mary Jane. Do you have a reason why we should try to work this out? And it's like, how desperate are you, dude? Come on. It's like he just broke up with you, and you're like, hey, can you give me a reason why we should stay together? Come on. Yeah.
Bear F said Jordan White said that MJ will be Venom for a while too. I'm guessing they got to break up this, but she has to be a new type of Venom then. She'd have to not be this Venom, I don't think.
Yeah, that doesn't.
Just because I thought they were kind of shutting the door, but I think the next issue will be a lot.
It really did seem like it.
Especially this issue. It just seemed like they were kind of breaking up.
Like, hey, we're done. And then like Venom is getting renumbered again to like, I think they're continuing with 250 now going forward too. So I don't know.
The solicits say for 251. I'm curious about that.
Does it say 251 or does it say issue whatever?
MJ's in it. Yeah. So like I skipped 250 because obviously 250 would be there, whatever. So the issue that's coming out in November is Doc Ock is back, blah, blah. Luke Cage isn't happy, blah, blah. MJ gets a new gig. Venom gets a new look.
Is it
issued though as 251?
It's 251. Yeah.
Okay. So it is continuing.
And she's in it.
Old Venom.
Okay.
And then plus a bonus tale origin of the all newer Venom. I think there's 2 Venoms. This is the issue in December, so they're playing.
God.
They're doing a lot.
Jeez, man. Oh,
That's
Lord.
what I like about this book. It's stupid, you know,
Yeah.
like in a fun way.
Absolutely. Listen, I just think I just stop introducing symbiotes, dude. It just is. And we forgot to mention the end of this book too, as we wind up getting Rick Jones is now the newest symbiote.
Yeah,
and he's the newest toxin. Yeah.
And the suit, man.
What is
like
he
a
wearing?
buccaneer.
Like, he looks like a guy that should be like manning the elevator or something like that, you know,
like
or a
Bucky
bellboy.
2.0, like from World War II Bucky.
Yeah,
Kind of the vibe it was.
It's like, what is that, dude? All right, my number 5 is Sisterhood, a High Street Story, issue 3.
That's the other one I didn't read.
Yeah, that was another really, really good issue. We're seeing all these murders happen within this sorority, and we're trying to figure out how these murders are happening. And if you read the book, you'll find out in this issue.
Cool.
So yeah, really good book, man. Love it.
Nice.
All right, let's move on here. We got I'll let you guys talk about the Tin Can Society. This is issue 8 at this point.
This is the penultimate issue too.
Oh wow, it's ending?
Yeah, one more issue. What
and
did you think?
I think that because they revealed he was alive, it feels like it lost all its steam. It just like, so what's the point of this book now? And that's how I felt, at least. I didn't love it.
Yeah, so I felt the same way, and I was afraid it was just me. I actually read the last 2 issues back to back, and I still this issue went by so fast too, and there was so many like it was going back and forth between like if I remember correctly, the guy was like reliving his football days, and then back to him in the armor, and the sidekick guy. I can't even remember any of their names.
Me either. I don't remember any of their names.
It's like that first couple of issues were so good and so solid, and it just slowly lost its steam, and now it was so fast paced. It felt like it's like, okay, we got to wrap this up, so we're gonna just throw everybody into there. Everybody's in a suit. Everybody's fighting this and that. Now
it was also delayed too. It was delayed like 6 months between issues.
Right.
It lost a lot of steam from that.
It did, unfortunately. So it left me feeling like I don't know that I care as much anymore, unfortunately. So disappointing issue for me.
No, I agree.
All right. Next is, well, we talked about Absolute Superman already. And here's Spider-Man 94. This is issue 1. So Brant and I read this book, and I liked the book, but it did not impress me like I thought it would. I thought the artwork was a little bit off from what I'm used to seeing from the animated series. Peter always looked like he was dirty. He had scrapes in his face. His hair was weird. I don't know. He looked super thin. And then the one villain that I did not want to see in a Spider-Man comic book was freaking Moreland. And he is in this comic book. So I was a little bit frustrated with that, because I'm like, this is because of Moreland. That's how we wind up getting the introduction to Spider-Verse. And I hope that they don't go to Spider-Verse through this Spider-Man 94 stuff. You do get Kane though. Yeah.
And Moreland was like, it was all that stuff, right? The Spider-Verse, all that crap, sprung from Moreland. So I was disappointed to see Moreland in there too. And like when you see Kane and stuff, you're thinking, oh, we're gonna get the Jackal and that, go
right
on that line.
You do get clones though at the end.
Yeah, you do get clones at the end. Oh yeah, I won't spoil that, but I thought it was fine. But I agree with you. It wasn't like, I don't know. It was just missing something, and the art was a little bit off. Like Peter's face looked bloated half the time. It's just it was weird. It was weird.
It was very weird.
Yeah, I mean, I like Kane versus Spidey and the jumbled memories and all that stuff. That was the good parts of the clone, saga and all that. But then you muddy it with the Moreland stuff, and it's weird. It was a weird direction to go with it.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm going to continue to read it.
You're not going to continue it? I
am.
Oh, you are going to continue.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I liked it well enough to continue.
Same.
I just didn't fall in love with it.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I thought it would be like, oh, this is freaking great, and it wasn't that.
Mm,
It was good.
yeah,
It just
it's like
wasn't
that. Sorry.
like I was like, man, Moreland. God, I think that was my biggest disappointment there. You
Yeah.
could have put anybody in there. You could have put in Paste Pot Pete. You could have put in freaking Electro, Shocker, Boomerang, anybody in there. Moreland, all people. I'm like, come on.
Yeah.
All right, so let's see. We're going on now to our number fours. Kat, what's your number 4 this week?
Mine was Batman. I already talked about it.
All right. My number 4 was actually Superman, Absolute Superman. So we talked about that one. And what about you, Brant?
Mine was all new Venom.
All New Venom. Okay, cool. All right. So moving on to number 2. What do we got? Absolute Green Lantern. We talked about All New Venom. So Absolute Green Lantern issue 6. I liked Green Lantern. I do like the book. However, it is starting to get a little bit Al Ewingness in there, where the stuff is starting to get a little bit out there. And I'm curious, like, how far he's going to go. Because I feel like he's trying to do things without always explaining what's going on. And I think it can get confusing for people. I like the issue, but I just feel like this one might be starting to just lose me just a little bit. That's just my thought process here.
It's so funny because this is the one I really liked this week compared to Absolute Superman. I really liked the mythology building. I like the ending with Joe and Agent Chase, that she goes to her doorstep, and like that drama is really interesting to me. I think the art is really good. Like, I like the anime style a lot. I really love this world. This is my favorite of the Absolute titles.
I actually really liked it too. I thought they could have cut like the opening monologue with John and Guy and everything by a page or two, but aside from that, I thought it was really solid. I like the stuff with Joe and Agent Chase as well, and yeah, I don't know. This is becoming actually one of probably my favorite Absolute book. So I liked
I
it a
would
little
say,
bit better than Superman too.
I would say I mean, this one is like, I like Absolute Superman is my favorite.
Okay.
And then it's always between this one and Batman on my second. I think it just
I think Batman's inconsistent. That's the reason Batman's not higher for me, is that there's some issues that blow me out of the water, and then there's like 3 issues that are really slow.
Right.
For me, it's right now. It's Green Lantern, Superman, Batman.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. All right, and then we have, I guess we're going into our number 3 already. So, what was your number 3, Kat?
Mine was Cheetah and Cheshire robbed the Justice League.
That
The
was pretty
artist,
good issue.
yeah, it's so good because, like, I actually think the pacing's really interesting because not a lot happens. It really is them forming the team, but it feels very Ocean's 11 and the way they formed the team. And the art is spectacular. I like that we get to learn more about these characters. I love Cheetah and Cheshire's relationship and having Leon involved in all of that.
I love
It
Leon.
just she was great. Like, because I like that she's just kind of like this dark horse character where you're like, she is daddy, she is the daddy girl for Roy, but that doesn't mean she doesn't like her mom and the world that she lives in. And I really enjoyed that aspect. The world feels really lived in. That's what I really loved about this issue, is that you could feel Cheetah and Cheshire's relationship in particular, because you're just seeing them hanging out in the apartment eating Chinese food while they're doing all this other stuff. And I just really love this creative team, and I thought it was a really solid issue.
Yeah.
What I liked about it too, though, is like they're trying to get the very best to do this job, and they're unsuccessful at doing it. And so they're finding like these B-list characters to do this job, and they're trying to find the muscle. And this is a character that is completely unknown. Has basically made its first appearance in this series. So, and then once this roster is completely assembled, how are they going to pull off this heist? That's the biggest question I have here. So I really like this book too.
Yeah, I really like this book too, and again, the art is stellar in this book, and the team that they're pulling together. I like the character in the casino. I don't usually like Clarion, the Witch Boy, but he was well done here, and I thought it was kind of funny the way that all
The
came
casino
together.
scene in particular was so much fun because I
Yeah,
like, again, it feels really lived in. It feels like they're
right.
walking to a casino and this is what would happen. And I
Yeah,
agree, I hate Catboy usually, but he wasn't very annoying here.
yeah,
He played his part.
right. So yeah, just a fun issue. It would have been higher for me had a little bit more happened, but like you said, it was just kind of building a team and everything. But I absolutely love this book. This is one of my favorite books right now. Like it's just a fun book. So
Cool deal. Awesome. All right. So now we're talking about Uncanny X-Men issue 20. I'm not reading it, so I ain't read this
better than
issue.
last issue.
Huh?
It's better than
Better
last
than
issue.
last issue.
But I want to like this series more than I do. I just
Yeah.
I get that they're trying to build the new characters, but we're also 20 issues in. I want to love them by now, and I don't.
Yeah.
And you
And I
don't.
don't think the other characters have enough. I don't know. It's just not one of my as much as I want to be my favorite.
And you should not say that about an Uncanny X-Men comic book.
Sure.
It's the same. You can flip the coin and say the same thing about Spider-Man, right? It's like you should love every issue of Amazing Spider-Man. These are Marvel's flagship books. And to say that about Uncanny X-Men, you're kind of just like, you should be loving that book. And you're not.
And they're all going to end soon now too because of this event, and we
Age
don't
of
really know what this
Revelation
event is
starts,
going to
like, in
be.
October.
Yeah, it's going to be like next month, and this doesn't feel like this is going to be ending like next month. And I don't know exactly what that event's going to be. I don't know how long it's going to be, and if this is going to reboot back. I genuinely don't know. But yeah, I don't know. It's just okay.
It's like at first I really like these new characters in this book, and I like that they were building out this new team with the Foundation X-Men of Wolverine, Rogue, and Gambit, and Jubilee, and then adding these new characters in. But at this point, to both of your points, it feels like they should have their own book and just be doing their own thing. But I feel like nobody would have read it.
How long ago did I say that, guys?
I know, but nobody would have read it.
How long ago did I say that?
But they should have broken out by now.
But also, yeah, they should have had issues kind of like this 15 issues ago. That way they could have been fan favorites. Because like we said, that the girl with the horse, like she's definitely the fan favorite for a lot of people. And that's the only character I really have any emotion to. Because like I kind of understand who she is. Everyone else are a little wishy-washy.
And you should have just brought her. Just bring her. You didn't need 4 people. Bring her, add her to the team. Then you can focus on her and you can focus on the people that people love. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like Deathstream is kind of growing on me because he's got this little brother thing with Ransom, and they're trying to do something there. So I like little touches here and there, but they're so fleeting that it's hard to kind of latch onto them. And then the stories kind of they jump in and out of these characters, right? And they do
that's
weird
the
things.
issue.
Yeah, like last issue was like completely. I hated last issue.
Like,
I hated the last arc.
Does this series feel like there's any real purpose to it?
Right.
I think the X-Men in general doesn't feel like again.
Yeah.
Yes. Correct.
Yeah.
And again, this comes from someone who loves Exceptional X-Men because I love my Kitty book. But the reason I like Exceptional X-Men is I feel like I don't have to read any other series to enjoy it.
Detached from everything else.
Yeah. So if you like Kitty, you like Emma, you're going to continue to like that series. Maybe that's what the X-Men has to be at this point, and maybe that's what they're trying to do. But I think maybe they should try even further because I don't read X-Men currently. Uncanny, I love Gil and I love David Marquez, which is the reason why I'm continuing to read it. But I don't even know what other X-Men books there are right now. I know there's 12 others, but I could only think of those 3.
Like Magic
book we talked about
Emma.
Yeah.
And honestly, maybe that's where they have to go. I think let's just see more solo series at this point because those are the ones I've been enjoying the most.
I think it depends on your character, right?
Yeah, 100%.
All right. So let's move on then to our number 2s. Brian, what was your number 2?
I don't think I gave my number 3.
Oh, number 3. Sorry.
Are we on number 3 or number 2? I don't know.
We are on number 2. So if you didn't give,
we are on 2. So if I didn't do your number 3,
yes,
I didn't do my number 3 either.
we got lost because Uncanny X-Men was our next book to talk about, but it was I don't know somehow.
Whatever. You just do your 3.
Yeah. I gave my number 3. So
okay. What was your number 3, Kat?
Mine was Cheshire and the Chief.
Oh,
we
that's
just
why.
forgot to do R2,
Yeah.
Brant.
Yeah, because Cheshire was our next book to talk about. We just went to Uncanny instead of our
Yeah.
next series. That's what happened. Okay. Mine was Gwenpool, issue number 5, just because it was stupid. I just thought it was funny that it ended up being who it was, the big villain.
No.
I know it was dumb.
I'm actually on
I had
Brand's
fun
side
with
with this one though, because
Okay.
I kind of liked how
This
stupid
is
it
not
was.
the
too.
original. This is not original idea. This has
No.
been done. This was
Yes.
done in Deadpool faces the Marvel Universe.
Yeah.
The same thing happened. And so when I got this, I'm like, they're doing the exact same thing as they did in Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe.
It happened in
exactly
crossover too, but I mean, it's just in crossover, the Image comic.
Oh yes, that's true.
Yeah.
And that book never finished because I know Donny
Yeah.
Cates stuff, but
Yeah.
I liked but getting it from Gwenpool's point of view though. I enjoyed the two Gwenpools. I think like I don't know if I needed the twist, but I just kind of like them and they're just kind of fun.
Yeah, I just thought it was stupid fun. That's what it was all about.
If you got enjoyment out of it, man, that's fine. I read it too. I didn't think it was like a horrible read, but I didn't think it was
I figured you'd be annoyed by it. Yeah.
top 5 material. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
It was just like she's floating around from body to body. And then like at the end of the day, like what happens? Now you have a dark Gwenpool. You got the regular Gwenpool who's in a Deathlock Gwenpool body. I guess that's what we got going on now. So she's not even the same character.
Yeah. So another part of it that I liked was kind of the meta content on it that like we don't know when we're going to see her again. And she knows that. And it's, it's that kind of thing. So just little things like that about
It's
it.
different. It's kind of thinking outside the box a little bit. Yeah.
I also think it's interesting, like Brant, I don't think you're a big Gwenpool fan. I'm not either. It's almost written as like an anti-Gwenpool story, which doesn't quite make sense because like me and you like it. But for Gwenpool fans, I actually think they probably hate this book because like she's being killed off and whatever. Yeah. So it also feels like it's for no one, but that's kind of the anti-establishment I liked about this book.
Exactly. Yeah. We're here.
It's only for me and Brant. Yeah. It's only for us.
It's one of those books that like it seemed like it was advertised as this complete like dark Gwenpool.
But that's the joke.
You know, I get it. I totally get it. But it's just like I'm not the biggest Gwenpool fan, right? Like it's just like she's one of those characters that I don't know.
No,
I feel like she's one of those characters that were created because we got nothing else better to do but just to create a mashup between Gwen and Deadpool. You know?
I agree with you, and she was at her best in West Coast Avengers for me.
I would agree with that. Yeah, I would agree with that. All right. So my number 3, since we're going back to that, was actually Spider-Man. So I actually like the Spider-Man enough to put it in my top 5 this week.
Which one? 94 or Amazing?
Amazing.
Amazing. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
All right. So now we're on our number 2. Yeah. So number 2 for me was actually Batman. So that was my number 2.
Mine
Kat, what was your number 2?
Mine was Absolute Green Lantern, so we already talked about it.
Okay. And Brant?
Mine was Batman as well.
Okay, cool. All right. So now we will go to we have Batgirl to talk about. So Batgirl
I did not read that.
11.
Another book I didn't get to.
There's not much there. No worries. I think what I don't love about this book is it's not a Cassandra book. Every single time you think Cassandra's gonna navigate her own story, it's about someone else. And this issue is similar to that. It's about the brother. It's about someone else that knew her mom. Yeah, it's just I think Cass is a strong enough character to have her own book, and I think it's a shame to not see more of her. I like her. So, I mean, I'm going to continue reading it because I don't think I've ever dropped a Batgirl book, but it's not one of my favorite runs.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's fine. I don't know that we needed a secret brother and all that stuff, though. So
I agree.
All right. So now we go to number 1, and mine is Everything Dead and Dying. So issue 1, that was my favorite this week.
And so was mine. So
okay.
All right.
Well, I did not read that. So mine is Green Lantern.
Awesome. All right. So we have our last segment of the night, and that is the most anticipated. And I'm going to pass that over to Brant real quick.
Yeah, so let's see what we got here. So we've got Feral. I don't know what issue that is because you wrote issue 3, Mike, and I know that's not
I'm
right.
guessing it's 13.
Maybe
Okay.
it's 13. Yeah.
Yeah, it's something like that. I know it's up there, but
Yeah.
they're in that pet city, and what is it? Lord is about to get punished or put on trial. or
Yeah.
something?
Yeah. They found out what's really going on in the pet store.
Yeah.
It was like they were like breeding the young and they eat the young. Like,
Yeah, they're eating them.
yeah, that's pretty sick
It's
stuff right
gruesome.
there.
It's
Oh,
never
man.
a dull moment in the world of
And were there cats cheating on each other? I feel like that happened.
Yeah,
I always forget their
well,
names.
But I found
Yeah.
out that now that's just like that might be just a love story happening right there.
Okay.
You know, I think the main thing is you got the street cats out there finding out what's going on with these cats that have lived in the pet store all this time. And now I think there's going to be this war. It's going to be like this gang war between these cats.
It's crazy, that book.
It's
so
great book.
good.
I
though.
wish I remembered all their names. That's my
I do
only
too.
negative. It's just like there's all those cats and I can never forget
there's
what everyone's
Lord
names
and
are.
there's PG and there's
Patches.
and is it Elsie?
Elsie
I
or something
think.
like that. Yeah,
Something,
there's
yeah.
a lot of characters to
Lucky-
keep track of.
Lucky is the cat that's hooking up with all the other cats.
Okay.
You know, yeah.
Because he's lucky.
I got a
Yeah.
decent amount of them. Yeah,
Okay.
got the 2 little kittens.
Yeah, I don't know their names at all.
Yeah.
All right, so I'll save that one. Let's go to It Killed Everyone But Me, #1, which is Cats #2. I don't know what this book is.
It's a Ryan Parrott book. I want to say
I
it's
do know it.
Image, and it's a
Yeah.
slasher book. So it's if you survive the slashing, which I love slashers.
I'm getting
like
this one too.
Yeah, I
I'm
am
so
too. I just forgot
excited
what
for
it's
it.
called.
And Ryan Parrott's writing it.
Yeah, it's Ryan
excited
Parrott.
for that one.
That's I did talk about this on First now that you mentioned that. So yeah, I'm looking for those. It's Mad Cave actually.
Oh wow. Okay, Mad Cave then. It seemed like Image, but Mad
Yeah.
Cave. That's even better. I love supporting Mad Cave.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Then I have X-Men of Apocalypse Alpha #1 just because I'm curious about it. It is the Age of Apocalypse X-Men coming into the current continuity or at some point. I don't know if it's a flashback series or not, but I think that's kind of interesting and I want to see what it's about. I don't know that I'm like excited about it, but I am curious.
Yeah. I don't know if I put this on my FOC or not. And I'm not gonna lie, hopefully I didn't, because I don't want to read another like X book that has some kind of event attached to it or something like that, you know.
I'll say I don't think I'm picking up this one.
Yeah.
I think I skipped on it.
Okay, so I might be all alone on this one. So
I agree with Mike. It's just like they have so many of those event books, and I'm just like,
I agree.
I've seen enough of Miss Marvel in these events.
It's just you all know me. I love Age of Apocalypse.
Yeah.
It's that. So all right, so you mentioned that earlier in the show. Cat Exceptional X-Men #13 is your most anticipated this week.
I mean, yeah, I love that book.
Yeah.
I love Kitty. I think if you're a fan of Kitty Pryde in particular, you will really like the book. And I think it knows what it is, which is what I like. I think it's to its audience, and I think more comics should be that. Not every comic is going to be for you, but it's for a certain audience.
Sure.
And I think Exceptional X-Men does a good job at that. And I think, again, more comics need to do that because then you'll find different readers. This is the last issue until that event. So there's a lot of things they need to tie loose ends with. So I'm curious what they're going to do. But it's also Kitty is trapped in her past. And the students in that book is much better done than Uncanny X-Men. I feel like I know them. They built them very well. So those students are going to the past. And yeah, I'm excited for it. I love that book. So it'll probably be my #1 pick, but we'll see.
Then Mike and I have Transformers #24 as our top pick. That is I believe it's the last Daniel Warren Johnson issue.
It is.
That's so interesting that it wasn't issue 25.
I know, that's what I thought of too, but I was
Right.
like, oh, whatever. I mean, but yeah, it's a sad time. I mean, listen, it's in good hands. But there's only one Daniel Warren Johnson. And if there's somebody that really knows how to get the emotion out of robots, it's him. And the artwork that complemented it was amazing. So I will miss this era of Transformers. And let's just hope the stories will be just as good going forward, you know?
Yeah. But yeah, I'm excited to see what the new team does with it, considering who they are. So it's going to be interesting to see what
Right.
does going forward, though. All right, and then finally, the one book that was on all three of our lists this week, which is Punisher Red Band issue #1. He's back, but he has no memories.
Which is
Correct.
interesting that we all picked it because I thought I was picking something that would be like, oh, I don't, I'm going to throw this in here. Maybe no one else will pick it, but I
Not
do.
me, man.
I'm sure you, because you like Ben Percy a lot
Ben
too.
Percy,
And
Yeah, that's true.
what I'm excited about is like, will it be related at all to that previous run? Like, what is this new version of him? I love that it's Red Band. I like that we're hopefully going to get a mature book. Like, I've never been a Punisher fan up until that Jason Aaron run. Like that
Right,
changed
same.
my view on him. So I hope to see better and great stories from him because I'm now invested in Punisher.
Yeah, and to Mike's point, Benjamin Percy has kind of solidified himself in that pocket, those type of characters. So I'm really curious to see what he can do with Punisher now.
Yeah. I don't know if you can, who knows like how much in depth of a story that he'll write for the character. Because obviously it's only going to be a mini series. I think it was 5 issues if I stand corrected.
Probably.
But the one thing that I'm sure that you will get out of this book is violence. If there's something that like Benjamin Percy has done with all of his books is he's got good violence and he doesn't need a red band bag to do it. You know what I'm saying? So maybe there'll be extra gore. Maybe there will be extra blood this time around, but you can't expect it just because he puts it in his book. So I'm crossing my fingers that this will be a good one, but he doesn't really disappoint me at least. And so I'm happy to be picking this one up.
Yeah, for sure. Mike Manhattan, Kat was talking about this book towards the beginning.
Yes. I am picking it up. I already read it because I have a lot of books tomorrow. If you are picking it up, it is a lot of pages. It's like almost 300 pages.
Holy
so
shit.
it's really long. But it's a kind of quick read because it was originated for Substack. So there's a lot of pages that are repeated. It's a good story though. So if you find yourself thinking about it, pick it up. It's very Brian K. Vaughan. It's very much like what you like about Saga or what you liked about Paper Girls. It's very similar commentary. There's also a lot of nudity. So if you enjoy that aspect of Saga, it's similar to how they do it here. So yeah, pick it up, but maybe try to like find some time to read it because it's long, but it's cheap. I think it's like $20. It's a really cheap book for 300 pages. It's very cheap.
Nice.
Not bad.
Awesome. All right. And that will do it. So hopefully you guys had a great time with the comic conversation and the bracket. And we'll see how those brackets turn out. It's going to be a lot of fun to see how many characters we have that go the distance, right? If any. We'll see what happens. You never know.
It's October, right? Is that when it's coming out?
It starts in October. Yeah. It starts soon. Yeah,
so
very
just a
soon.
month away. Yeah.
Yep. So I'm excited. So with that being said, guys, thank you so much. Have a wonderful new comic book day. Remember, don't forget to subscribe to Comic Book Weekly's YouTube channel as you get to see all our episodes on that channel. Subscribe to my channel, Comic Book Corner 2.0, Comic Uno's YouTube channel, and Brant at Only Good Comics as well. Hit the bell, subscribe, do all that crap. So I'm going to head out, guys, because I got to go to bed. So good night, everybody. Take care.
Good night.